Hello everyone, welcome to episode 6 of Creating Lyphea. This episode may come out later than it's supposed to. We are starting from where we left off last episode, and today we're going to be creating custom abilities for these items, specifically for this one. First off, we should make a custom listener, so let's create that immediately. Let's call it player right click listener. Of course, in here we're gonna have to implement the default bucket listener. So this is a pretty standard setup. So what we want to do now is basically get the custom player through the custom player manager, which is gonna be pretty simple. So we're gonna do players.get, and then we're just gonna pass in the player UUID, which is going to look something like this. Now that we probably have the custom player, we can just do custom player, and then so over here, this is where we're gonna actually call the player ability cast function. Now we don't have that, so we're gonna make it. What we need to do for this next part is make the custom ability manager, which we're gonna do here. But before that, we actually want to make a custom item ability. So that's gonna be in item over here, and we're gonna do custom item ability. It's gonna be called literally that, and we're gonna do something like this. Okay, there we go. So this is the private fields that we're gonna need. So the namespace key is going to be consistent with all of the custom stuff. As you can see, we use it in the custom player and custom item, and now the custom item ability. So it's gonna be used everywhere, and this is going to be the consumer. It's basically going to be used in all of the function where the ability is cast. This is how it is cast. Basically, we can get the coordinates from this, we can get the mana from this, we can get anything from this, and that's the important part. Now let's get the actual registering of the item ability done. Okay, now what we want to do is just add the custom item ability manager. So what this does is basically creates a custom item ability. So this is the same thing that was happening here. I don't know if you remember. So this is basically the same thing, and we just need this part now. So let's do that. That is supposed to be in, as we can see, the custom item ability manager. So let's do that. Let's literally copy this. Custom item ability manager. So let's do it. This manager is going to be very rather quite simple. It's only going to need something like this. And we're going to call it ability registry. There we go, ability registry. And what we want to do here is one simple function is just going to be register item. That's what it's going to be called. We want to register it with the string name, and we want to register it with an actual custom item ability, and that's it. In the function itself, it's going to be just ability registry dot put, and then we're going to create a new namespace key, which is going to be in this case Lyphea dot get instance, and in your case it's going to be your plugin dot get instance, and then we're going to do name ability, and that's it. That's all that this function is going to contain. So now that this exists, we can just import it here, and that's about it. We have registered custom item ability, or made it possible to register a custom item ability. Now we're actually going to register a custom item ability and assign it to a player. So let's do that. First off, what we're going to do is over here uncomment this, and we're going to do a player right click listener. So this is going to be the casting event. So one more thing we should do is probably delete this instance for now, because we don't have any use for it right now. One other thing we should do is probably actually initialize the cast item ability. Okay, so now let's, in the custom item, let's add some stuff for it to be able to figure out if it does have an ability. First off, what we're gonna do is over here put not null everywhere. Not null, copy and paste it over here too. And we're also gonna do a not null custom item ability. Custom item ability, there we go. What we want to do over here is just check if it is null. Okay, there we go. So this is just checking the custom item ability namespace, and if it does, it's going to get it. If not, nothing is going to happen. Over here, we also want to add a quite important thing, and that is actually the custom item ability. So let's do that. Okay, what this function does is, yes, it may look confusing. It gets the player by the UUID of the custom player. It checks if the player is null or if the item in hand is not custom. This is also the first time we use this function. We also get the item stack in his main hand. We also get or create the namespace key. that is going to be the location of the item ability. We check if it does have it. If it doesn't, we're going to return. We also just get the persistent data container part where the actual custom item ability data is. If it's null, we return. We just get the ability over here from the registry by using the namespace key. Check if it's null, return if it is, and just get the custom player consumer. That is over here, that is the consumer that we wanted, and just accept it with a custom player. Now over here, we can finally do something like this, custom item dot cast item ability, and we just do custom player, and that's it. Okay, one thing I actually did forget is over here, we're supposed to actually give it the item ability. So in this case, maybe you should, for your purposes, set it to nullable, if you want it to be nullable. Which I'm actually gonna be leaving it at nullable, so we can have a custom ability and we don't have to have a custom ability. So there we go. And for you to be able to add a custom ability, your code will look something like this. And there we go. So this is how it is looking so far. This part is the part that was already here, or this part is already the part that was here. And then we do a custom item ability. We just register the custom ability into the registry, and we just give it the function that we want it to be called when executed. So this part can be anything. This can be literally nothing. And this can be something like this. Okay, so what this is gonna do is basically get the current mana of the player. Check if the current mana is less than 10. If it is, then it's not gonna cast the function. What we can do here is maybe something like notifying the player on what happens or what is happening, so that he knows he doesn't have enough mana to cast the ability. Then we register the field. So one thing we're gonna definitely do next episode is gonna fix this register field to have another function to actually set the mana to be something different. And then we just get the player twice. First time we send the message, and the message is test ability. This can be literally anything. And then we get the player and play a sound, and that sound is going to be experience orb pickup at 1 volume and 1 pitch. So let's give it a go. Okay, so now that we're in Minecraft, we can go into the server and we can see if it is working. So let's call function give item, test name, sure. So we should have enough mana. We can check that though. So we can check that by going into the run, plugins, and Lyphea over here in our stats. You can see I have 930 mana. How you can give yourself mana is probably just remove mana yourself and then minus. That is going to give you mana actually. So let's give it a go and see if this is going to be cast. So after we cast the ability, as you can see, we can cast it a lot of times. There is no cooldown or anything. So let's disconnect and we can check the data. And yeah, as you can see, the mana has been, of course, successfully changed. So what that means is the ability was actually being cast. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to tell me something that I've missed or want me to do something special for you, please leave a comment. So yeah, there you go.